Hey, what's happening, black people? What's going on? I don't know if you guys can see me or hear me. Give me a yes or no if you can see me and hear me. Yes or no if you can see me and hear me. How you doing, Mandrell? How are you? Good to see you. Yes, I'm sitting here. I'm watching college football, and I'm watching LSU beat the living you know what out of Oklahoma. It's pretty sad to watch. I thought I'd see a better game. And tonight, you guys know I'm an Ohio State alumni, and so I'm gonna watch the Buckeyes play Clemson. My sister-in-law went to Clemson, so and I was kind of mad because she had the Clemson, she had the baby dressed up in Clemson clothes, and I was like, okay, that's a problem. But then again, though, it ain't like any of these people sending us money when they win games. So anyway, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are doing well. What's up, Leo Chick and Keith B? What's going on, Cameron Kelly, K Watts? Do me a favor. First of all, could you hit the thumbs up button if you could? I'd appreciate if you guys could hit the thumbs up button. That brings more people into the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Will I interview my niece while I'm in Colombia? No, because she does not like interviews. She does not do a whole lot of talking. She does a whole lot of crying. But I'll probably get some snapshots and stuff and whatnot. But anyway, there's this rapper by the name of Blueface. First of all, I'm curious to see if anybody even knows who this dude is. Give me a yes or no if you've ever heard of the rapper Blueface. Give me a yes or no if you've ever heard of who Blueface is. Blueface is a 22-year-old rapper out of South Central. I think he was a member of the Schoolyard Crips. Okay, I see some yeses and I see some nos. And I got friends out in LA. I got friends that that are affiliated. No disrespect one way or the other. I think it is what it is. Okay, so Blueface is interesting. The only time I heard about the rap, I try to pay attention to who the new rappers are because I like to understand what young people are listening to, because these are our what would you say? Not would it be predecessors, descendants? I guess these are the ones who are going to be after us. How about that? And they are the ones that are going to take over this thing when we're done. So I like to pay attention to what young people are doing and what they're consuming, what they're putting into their head, and I think you should really be concerned. There's a lot to really be upset about if you're black. A lot of your young people are being improperly educated. They're being fed media that is destructive and trashy. In fact, somebody made a really good point. I saw a video today where they were basically talking about this. They were talking about where there's a pastor, a white pastor, who actually said, isn't it interesting that if we were going to make music about harming animals, that nobody would allow that. Nobody would ever allow a song about harming animals or harming women. But if you make a song about harming a black man, putting a black man in a casket, then that song's going to be a hit on the radio. Like they will celebrate that. And that really tells you that America has a long way to go, that America is not that much better than they were before integration. So this rapper Blueface goes out and he throws his money out to homeless people. And Nina says, congrats on 200,000 subscribers. Thank you. By the way, the other channel is much bigger. It's about 360,000, Your Black World. So we got several channels. We're kind of everywhere. So I think we have a combined total of maybe, I'm going to guess 600,000 total. So 200,000 was nice. But if Fly New Being Queen has 100,000. So I guess it's maybe 700,000. Like we've got a network. Like that was our goal. We're out there. We're not just in one spot. Just so in case you want to know. But anyway. So this brother was giving out money to the homeless, and he, went up, got on top of a car and was throwing money out. And honestly, it's kind of I'm not gonna say played, but it's kind of a typical kind of rapper thing, to kind of go and throw out money. And because I've seen it before, you see a lot of rappers do it. My first question, honestly, when I saw it was, I said, "Is that real money? Is he actually throwing out real money, or is he throwing out movie money?" In case you guys don't know, some rappers have done that. So if you ever see a broke ass rapper, like a rapper who ain't never had a hit song, and he wasn't making a whole lot of money trapping, suddenly somehow have a briefcase full of money. Well, a lot of times rappers will get movie money, money they use in movies, and they'll throw that money out. And they'll pretend like they're throwing away real money, and it's not real. The money's not real. So again, I'm not saying this money wasn't real. I assume it was real. I assume somebody would have said something. But that was my first thought. But then the second thought was, when people criticized him for it, I remember thinking, well, what's there to criticize? The man's being generous. I'm not hating on it. I think it's great. I think it's cool. You're giving money away to poor people. Like, there's nothing wrong with helping homeless people. And I try my best to give as much money as I can. I give away tons of money every year to all different kinds of things that I believe in. People that need support, need help, need a job, etc. So I don't see anything wrong with that. In fact, I think that's something we should expect from our celebrities. Now, here's the thing, though. when you're talking about throwing money out like that, that becomes kind of a, first of all, it is done for PR, right? It's done to kind of like, it's like a stunt and flossing kind of action, right? It's like, look at me, look how much money I have. And one of the big things rappers got to look out for is you got to really think about how the black man is weakened and feminized and turned into a bitch by the fact that we don't have any wealth. Part of the reason that we get turned into slaves is because we don't have any real economic power. Part of the reason that the white man got his foot on your neck is because you don't have the economic power to create your own jobs, to control your own communities, right? So when you go and you say, I'm going to communicate my wealth by throwing my wealth away, that's just really not the healthiest way to show how well you're doing, right? So a lot of rappers will kind of do this. Like, you look at, for example, I'll give you a good example, rapper Young Buck. I don't know if anybody knows give me a yes or no if you know Young Buck. Young Buck used to roll with G Unit. He was big back in the early 2000s. Young Buck was one of the biggest rappers out there, and his music was very good. He was very, very talented. He was right there with 50 Cent, and they had the G Unit clothing line, which was an excellent exercise in branding. I mean, they were on top of the world. And Young Buck, would show how much money he had by throwing it up. He talked about going to the club and throwing out money and spending, buying $1,000 bottles of champagne and all that. And now you got it right. Last time I read, Buck is in jail. He spent Christmas in jail, and now he's gonna be in jail till May, right? And it's so that's a big fall. That's a big fall. Right, and this is not about Blueface though. This is not me talking about Blueface's future. I wish no ill will on him at all. I'm talking about the warning signs, the things we got to look out for in the culture. You see, black male culture, which is actually encouraged by white racist media. White racist media encourages black people to be stupid. It encourages you to do things that are going to hurt yourself. In fact, and people got mad at me and they kind of went off about it, but I don't care. I was talking about Saturday Night Live. And if you watch Saturday Night Live and you watch with a critical eye, look at all the depictions they have of black people. Most of the depictions they have of black people, like when they do Black Jeopardy, it's always something stupid. It's always something stereotypical. And I dare, and I hope I can say this and still be loved, but I dare even say that Eddie Murphy, a big chunk of his career, not all of it, but a big chunk of his career on SNL was built off playing off the stereotype of the black man as ignorant, as a pimp, as a thug, as a thief, as a liar, as a piece of shit, as weak, as a joke. You see, and here's the deal. What you got to understand, this is king shit I'm talking to you about right now. The weak people are not going to get this. The punks are not going to understand this. The little bitches are not going to get what I'm saying. This is king shit here. If you're talking about king and queen shit, you'll never be the king, you'll never be the queen if people always think you're a joke. Like when the king is in the room, people don't laugh when the king is in the room. They don't start laughing when the king walks in the room. They get real serious when the king walks in the room. But if you're the joke, if you're the jester, if you're the comedian, then you make them laugh. And as Dr. Claude Anderson explained to you in Powernomics, the safest Negro in the world in the minds of white folks is the black man who makes them laugh. Because if you're telling them jokes and you're making fun of yourself and you're laughing about how pathetic your community is and you're celebrating how ignorant you are, then they're going to say, okay, we ain't got to worry about him. He ain't never going to really compete with us. He ain't going to try to take my money. He ain't going to take my woman. He don't want no land and property. He don't want no wealth. All he wants is a piece of chicken and a job, right? That's what it's. So you got to be careful about getting too caught up in the whole, like we want to always be funny type of narrative, because that actually makes you look kind of ridiculous to the world. You're not seen as a competitor. You're not seen as a threat. So anyway, let me see here. Nate says, thank you for your donation, Nate. I appreciate it. If you donate to the chat, I'll always read your comment. He says, I'll be retiring in Medellin pretty soon. If you get a chance, go to Hanomi. It's a great restaurant in Provenza, Poblado. There's also another restaurant called San Carmen. Thank you, brother. I appreciate those recommendations, and we will be looking for places to eat, and I will be looking into the Medellin. Is a beautiful place, by the way. If you haven't gone to Medellin, Colombia, you don't know what you're missing. It's beautiful. And actually, I read that even Roland Martin went out to Ghana this week after we did. So there are a lot of folks who are going to Ghana, man. I'm telling you. And I was in Ghana last week. I didn't know Roland was going this week. And he was literally being guided by the same people that guided me last week when I was there. And so I'll tell you what. Africa is the future for black people. Don't let nobody talk you out of Africa. You can still have America. You can still have America and have Africa at the same time. You have a right to both. Don't let anybody make you make a choice when there's no reason to make a choice. You know, like I don't see any reason why you should have to do that. Just like, for example, you don't have to make a choice between reparations and do for self. Who the fuck said you have to make a choice between those two? Like, no, I want my reparations and I want to do for self. Like, I want you to pay me what you owe, and I want to go build something that's mine. I want to do both. I'm not gonna like not ask you for what you owe me just because I can go make money on my own. I want it all, right? So for black people, you deserve it all. You deserve everything, right? So anyway, do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. And also, if you guys haven't checked out the Black Business School, you want to learn about wealth for 2020, get your life off right, go to theblackbusinessschool.com, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. I also have some events coming up. I'm going to come to Oakland to talk black wealth in Oakland. We've got some digital events coming up. We're going to start doing Black Movie Night, because you guys know we have Boyce Watkins Films, and we'd like to show our films to our audience whenever you guys want to come in. So if you want to know more about what's going on, go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. So let me finish up here on this thing with Blueface. Two things. One, I don't think the critiques of his actions are valid at all. I'm not, I think people that say that he's dehumanizing them by throwing money and making them crawl on the ground for it, that's just kind of silly. I mean, you're really dehumanizing them when you're not helping them. You're dehumanizing homeless people when you don't build enough homeless shelters. You're dehumanizing homeless people when you don't have enough mental health institutions to help those individuals that need that help. So that's dehumanizing them. Throwing money at them is not dehumanizing. That's just that's like some dumb shit that idiots say when they just looking for something to be mad about. The second critique was, that the money wouldn't actually help them. It would actually go into the hands of drug dealers, right? So you think about this, a lot of people that are homeless, not all of them, but a substantial percentage are there because they have drug issues. And so there is a valid point to say, if you give money to a homeless person that has a drug problem, you're not actually helping the person, you're enabling a drug addiction. You're putting money into the pockets of the dope dealers, and which could argue that maybe giving out food or something else would be better for them. I'm not going to argue with that critique. I don't think it's enough. I think the good outweighs the bad, but I think that is a valid critique. But here's what I want to go deeper into. I want to break this down for y'all right quick. If you really talk about the black male rapper in America, and the commitment and the responsibility that black entertainers have for elevating the strength of the black community, you got to go a little bit deeper. There's a documentary I want you to watch on YouTube called Poverty Inc. Poverty Inc. Poverty Inc. explains exactly why charity does not elevate a community. Charity actually, if you consistently rely on charity as your first and last resort, charity actually keeps communities in poverty. They actually showed that African countries that were getting charity, they would do what they call poverty porn, where they would have, some little starving kid with flies on his face and a big belly, and they show that picture to all these people that feel guilty, and they would send money in. What that actually does is that actually enriches the people who run the organization, because, if you say, hey, we're going to raise $1 million because African kids need shoes, well, what happens is people that collect the money, they pay their friend to go make shoes for the African kids, and they just drop the shoes onto that country. And what effectively happens is that the country isn't able to actually get on its feet because they're leaning on the charity. You're destroying the shoe industry in that country, and also you're not really helping the people in those countries. You're actually helping the people that are running the charity. So you got to be real careful about some of these charities. And so if you want to build the hood up, we got to stop thinking about the black community as a charity case. You are not a charity case. I did a video earlier, you guys should go look at it, where I was pointing the camera out my window in Colombia, and I said, look at Colombia, look at this place. They have thousands and thousands of buildings, thousands and thousands of businesses, that they have entire governments that they run themselves. They have their own educational system, they have their own media, they have their own sports teams, all these things. And did you know that the country of Colombia, their GDP, their gross domestic product, is 1/4 of the total amount of money that African Americans spend in 1 year? Did you know that they have 1/4 the wealth that you have, but unlike them, you believe that you don't have enough money to form your own sports league. Unlike them, you don't believe you have enough money to have your own educational system. Unlike them, you don't believe you have the money to have your own media outlets, right? But they're literally taking 1/4 of what you have and doing 10 times more with it, and building their own, and building in nation building. That requires a certain mentality. So for black folks, when you talk about all these wealthy entertainers, multi-millionaire entertainers out here sitting on top of money, got money on top of money, do not support the idea of them showing their wealth by saying, look at this $5 million European car I just bought. That's buffoonery. That's coonery. That's actually leading to broke behavior. That's broke-like behavior. That's behavior that puts you in a poverty pot. Poverty thinking is what makes you poor. That's what allows a person to receive a lot of money and still end up poor, because they're thinking like a poor man. They're giving their money away to show how much money they have. You don't do that. What you do is you don't show anybody how much money you have. You invest. And maybe if you want to show somebody something, show them a building that you bought. Show them some land that you bought. Go back to the hood. Blueface, get together all these other rappers. You want to help the hood? Go through the hood and do what Kenny Gamble did in the 1970s. Kenny Gamble is a music icon. He's won every music award imaginable. He wrote 3,000 songs. He did what Blueface and these other guys are trying to do. Kenny Gamble, when he started making that money from the music industry, Kenny Gamble went back to the hood and he bought the hood. He bought so many buildings and so much land that you go down there, it's like when I go visit Kenny, it's like visiting a king. I go down to downtown Philly. This man owns an entire section of the city, and he's a godfather in that space because he made plans when he was young, when he was 22, like Blueface is. When he was 22, 23, 25 years old, he was going back to the hood and saying, let's build this thing up so that we have something to leave our children. Let's not hustle for our first name. Let's hustle for our last name. We're not trying to just have a little bit of money today. We're trying to have wealth that lasts for many generations and many centuries, right? So that's what I want to almost add to, in terms of not even a critique, but almost a supplement, almost a suggestion to say, look, okay, let's help the hood. Let's give away some turkeys and toys at Christmas. I don't know about giving away cash because we ain't trying to make all the dope dealers rich. They got enough money. Instead, let's go in here and every year, let's go to the hood. Let's find a single mom who lives in a rented house and let's help her buy that house. Right? Let's go to the hood and let's find some abandoned buildings that ain't nobody using, and let's go and buy that property and fix those buildings up. Let's go back to the hood and let's go down to where Nipsey Hussle used to live and where Nipsey roamed in Crenshaw, the Crenshaw district, and find an area, find an abandoned lot and get use our celebrity weight to get the whole community to come together to buy up that lot and own it. Right? Let's do something like that. That is actually how you do things that last forever, because here's the deal. If I just give you some stuff at Christmas, that's going to be gone in a week. You're going to eat the meal. You're going to take the money. Maybe you'll take it. Maybe you'll go eat it. Use it to eat. Maybe you'll go smoke it up. Maybe you go buy some toys. But that's temporary. You see, wealth builders and wealthy people don't think in a temporary fashion. They think long term. Warren Buffett, the wealthy white guy that gives advice to LeBron James and Jay-Z and all those guys, Warren Buffett has said repeatedly that wealth is nothing more than a transfer of resources from impatient people to patient people. That the patient people, the ones that are thinking long term, are able to take money away from the people that are only thinking short term. So if all you're thinking about is how I can get a Popeye's chicken sandwich today, then you're giving money to somebody who's thinking, how can I buy a Popeye's chicken franchise that's going to be in my family for the next 100 years? Do you get what I'm saying? Give me a yes or no if you confirm that you follow this message. Give me a yes or no. So I saw somebody mention the Lizzo thing. We're done talking about fat people today. We're going to talk about something better. I ain't worried about chubby women who like to stick their booty out at Lakers games. Lizzo can go on and do what she's going to do. I'm sure white folks will continue to reward her as long as she keeps on cooning. But remember, there was that white pastor did make a good point. He talked about how when Rick Ross was rapping about killing black men, all the media was fine with it. They were cool with that. Corporations were rewarding him for that. But when he made that little joke about date rape, y'all remember that? When he made that little joke about slipping something in your drink? Oh, they shut his butt down fast. They shut his butt down fast. So that tells you the game that you're playing. So God bless Lizzo. I actually feel sorry for her. Because sometimes you think you get the dream, but really you're getting the nightmare. You think that you're free, but really you're a slave. You think that you won, but really you lost. You think that you're moving forward, but actually you're moving backward. We've had a million mammies. We've had a million minstrel shows. Ain't nothing fresh about that. Ain't nothing new about that. But how many kings and queens have we had in the last 200 years? How many power moves have we been able to make as a community? Now that's special. That deserves an award. A Negro singing and dancing, that ain't nothing new. We've been having that since the beginning of time. I want to see some black people actually going for power. So that's what it is. All right, guys, I'm out of here. About to go watch this game. My Buckeyes play tonight, and also I'm watching this LSU Oklahoma game to see how bad the slaughter continues. I don't know if y'all are football fans, but you'll get to see this game. LSU's killing them. It's brutal to watch. But anyway, I'll see you guys later. Hit the thumbs up button for me if you could. Also, intelligentblackpeople.com. That's where you can go to support and help us grow. We could really use your help. Just whatever you want to invest. Like, we would really appreciate that. So anyway, take care, guys. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Be good. Peace.